everyone. Welcome to STEAM for Tweens. I'm Miss Jennifer here at the Warrenton Library. Today we're going to talk about computer coding. If you picked up your supplies here at the library, you have everything you'll need for this activity. Otherwise, you will need a key ring, a piece of yarn or string, thick string, and several pony beads in 2 different colors. Here we have black and white. If you saw our STEAM for Tweens back in March, you'll remember we talked about secret codes like substitution ciphers, where you swapped out a letter for another letter or symbol to create a code. Today's program explores a computer coding method which assigns a number to letters, numbers, punctuation, and special characters we use in the English language. This allows electronic equipment like computers to handle text. Computer coding is what creates all the software, apps, and websites we use. A coder is a person who writes code or a set of instructions to program electronics. They turn our language into something a computer can read. There are many different kinds of coding languages. The coding method we're talking about today is Extended Ascii, which stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. It was developed in the 1960s and was based on earlier codes used by telegraph systems. ASCII is one common way of encoding letters of the alphabet as binary numbers. A binary code means it represents information using only 2 options, ones and zeros. Think of it like Morse code. Instead of encoding a letter as a dot or a dash, we encode it as a 1 or a 0. Different patterns of ones and zeros spell out different letters, just like different combinations of dots and dashes do. Extended ASCII is a system using 8 bits, which is short for binary digits. A bit is 1 digit's place in a binary number. So an 8-bit binary number has 8 digits. 8 bits is also known as a byte. Each bit in a binary number is either a 0 or a 1, representing whether the bit is on or off. For example, the number 01000001 represents the letter A. Electronics process data as electrical signals. Think of it as an electric light, where on sends power to a light and off does not. In a computer, an electrical signal sends the digit 1, and when the signal is turned off, it sends the digit 0. So a letter is assembled by a series of ones and zeros, which means on and off, until the 8 digits create a letter. 8 bits allows for representation of 256 characters. Most of these represent the lowercase letters of the alphabet, capital letters, numbers, and punctuation. There is also a number that represents the spaces between words, called a delimiter. A delimiter marks the beginning or end of a unit of data. This chart shows 127 characters. You can see there are several coding languages represented on this chart. I know it's very small, but I'll hold it up here for a little bit so that you can read it. You can see that the Extended ASCII language is represented here, and we have a variety of ones and zeros that represent, like I mentioned before, the lowercase letters, the uppercase letters. We have the @ symbol, the exclamation point, all sorts of different things. They are also sometimes used to represent symbols in other languages. So here we have an O with an umlaut from the German language, and the symbol for the euro currency. And so those are also featured on an Extended ASCII chart. Today, we will be making keychains made from beads that spell out your first and last initials in Extended ASCII. Using this chart, which looks a little bit different, you can determine which bead you need for each for each of your initials. So the white squares represent ones and the black squares represent zeros. Using this, you can see that my first initial, J, would need 5 black beads and 3 white beads. My last initial, D, would need 6 black beads and 2 white ones. So I'm going to hold this up so that you can come back here while you're creating your keychain and figure out what letters you are going to put for your initials and what beads you will need. You should have in your kit enough white or black beads for each letter. So let me turn my screen down and we will start creating our keychain. The first step is to create a lark's head knot, which you've probably done before, but you just might not have known the name of. We're going to fold the cord in half and slip the folded cord through the hole in your key ring, and then make a loop and pull the ends through your hole, just like this. That's probably a knot that looks familiar to you. Before stringing the beads, we're going to add an overhand knot, which is just creating a regular knot on each strand down at the end, because this will help the beads hang straight. So we're just going to, and your cord is a little bit silky, so you can guide the knot down to the end, just like that. And now we're going to string the beads. Use your chart that I showed you to figure out what beads you need to create your 2 initials on your key ring. So for the letter J, we need a black, a white, 2 more black, 1, 2, a white, a black, a white, and a black. Now, I have my black and white beads, and those are the colors that are represented on the chart. But if you have different color beads, you can just assign a color to the white and the black squares so that you'll know which ones you need to use when you're making your letter. Then we're going to do an overhand knot at the end to keep the beads from sliding off. And you might want to double knot it just in case you don't want anything falling off the end. All right, now we're going to take our other cord and we're going to do our second initial. In this case, I need a black bead, a white bead, 1, 2, 3 black beads, a white bead, and then 2 final black beads. And that will represent the letter D. We're going to do our overhand knot again, tie off the end, double knot it just in case. And now we have a keychain with our initials represented in extended Ascii code. You have a coded keychain. I hope you enjoyed today's program. This was a very basic introduction to the concepts of computer coding, but feel free to come by the library to check out books on more advanced coding and careers in coding. Check back in next month for the start of our summer reading program and summer STEAM for Tweens. We'll have a new STEAM program up online every 2 weeks this summer. Don't forget to register for each program's supply bag to pick up everything you'll need to complete the activities. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.